Hi, my name's Jay Bartlett. I work in the private sector. I work in the construction sector. I'm also the chairman of the Solomon Islands Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is the chamber for Solomon Islands, which represents the private sector. Solomon Islands being a small Pacific Island state, we implemented public health measures, restricted travel, and the economic impact of this was immediate, especially in a number of sectors like the tourism sector. So they had immediate impact. They had a lot of cancellations with tourists coming in. And so they've really had to try and innovate to enable them to, I guess, work through this challenging period. Some of the things that our members have done is they've reduced working hours. A couple of them have implemented pay cuts to reduce all their overhead costs. We have seen some of our members restructure their business so that they have been able to reorganize their staff and make sure that, keeping people employed, allocating in different sectors of the business. In some cases, extreme cases, they've had to let staff go on unpaid leave, with the understanding that once a sense of normality comes back, then, they'll be able to come back and join the business. We're aware, as a small Pacific island, we have, weak public health system and, weak health infrastructure. Now that, we've got a pending health crisis, what has happened now is it's brought this to the forefront. And we're aware now that, what are the risks of having a weak health system and health infrastructure. As a small Pacific island, we also have, an economy that's quite vulnerable because our economic base is quite narrow. It's not very diversified. And we're at the risk of, global shocks in the economy and commodity prices going up and down. We've been aware of that. But now that we've had, disruptions in the supply side and the demand side, what we're seeing now, the effect on the economy, things that we knew were risks have now been brought to the forefront. So now, I guess a lesson moving forward for the economy is, we need to invest in these sectors that give us self-reliance. And we need to invest in sectors that, will help us with food security, so that when we get disruptions in the supply chain, things like food security aren't a risk. We need to invest in sectors that give us sustainability, that make us robust. And these are things that I guess we have been aware of, but just haven't been acting on. And so this has now brought it to our forefront. And I guess at a time of crisis, it is also a time for change. It is also a time for us to reflect, change, and look at what steps we can take. So hopefully when we move forward, we come through this on the other side, we come through stronger. We develop policies that guide us, that enable us, to be more resilient, more self-sufficient, as a society, as an economy, and as a country. So I think for me, those, I guess, are some of the main takeouts on this. We need to be creative about how we look at our challenges, and we need to be innovative about how we address the challenges we're facing now, and use a crisis like this, to change and enable us to be better in the future.